everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And summer is upon us. It's very exciting. And we have a bunch of fun programming for a Hallmark channel and other romantic comedies that we're going to preview today. And we're going to be talking about the new book by Lindsay Gibson, Where It All Began. And we have with us Lindsay Gibson here to help us with all this. Thank you so much, Lindsay, for coming on the podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me again.
Yeah. How have you been doing?
I'm hanging in there. I just handed in another manuscript, and that one was a doozy to write. So I'm a little cross-eyed, but I'm good.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, how has this been for you to go from, you had your first book and now you've had multiple and it's become like it's your writer. Like amazing.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because it has taken me at least 3 books in to say that. Like,
yeah.
Because for me, it was like, I'm just going to slowly transition. Well, it's not slow. My publisher was like, cool, get those manuscripts in. This is full time. I'm like, okay. And she always said, Jenny Hale always says, put your cape on. You got this. Cause I got everything. I'm like, I do. Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. Writers are my heroes. That's for sure. I've been working on, trying to come up with this. I have this screenplay idea and I've been working on it. Still has a long way to go. But I was shocked at just how much plot was required for one of these little stories. Like you don't think that, oh, it's just a light little rom-com, that there's that much story, but it's like every idea I had, it was like, wow, that didn't take up that much space.
I know. And then when you do a movie, of course, I'm not a screenwriter, so I can't
right
experience, but I do know that they probably have to, unless you're creating a movie, like a screenwrite from scratch. If you're drawing from a book, they can't pull everything from those 85,000 plus words.
Yeah, it's even more when you're writing a book, even more. Like,
yeah. So I hats off to screenwriters. They have to pull like all the big pieces and put it together in an hour and a half movie. That's hard.
It's not easy, that's for sure.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
Well, we are doing our preview first, and it's going to be fun. We're talking about June movies to Hallmark, and I didn't see anything new coming to Hallmark Plus, but it could be, and I just so sorry in advance if there's something we missed. But we have everything coming to Hallmark or Hallmark Mysteries that we're going to talk about, and we have some other feature films that we're going to talk about coming to the theaters. So that'll be fun. And it's the Passport to Love. I can't remember if this is the second or third time that they've done this. I think maybe third, but I could be wrong about that. But how do you feel about the destination Hallmark movies?
Oh my gosh, Spain and Italy? Yes, please. My maiden name is Marabilio, so I'm Italian.
Yeah.
And Barcelona, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I could imagine even filming in there, but I've never been to either. So when I see places like that, I'm all in. So
I've been to both places, not Barcelona. I've never been to Barcelona, but I was on the coast of Spain a couple of years ago, and I went to Italy when I was 17. So it's been a while, but it was very fun, very fun. And the problem with me with the destination movies is sometimes they lean too much into the destination and kind of forget to tell a good story.
Too much plot.
They
Not
can be
enough.
a little
Yeah.
like I can just watch a screensaver of these places, like I don't need to watch a 2 hour movie, 80, I don't need to watch an 80-minute movie, to tell me these places are beautiful. And so that sometimes happens, but there have been some good ones.
True. I'm definitely character driven too. I love to get into the character storyline, and we could see the setting. I mean, it's right there. You don't have to hone in on it too much. So I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive in. So we have an interesting little pairing in Barcelona of movies, which is unique for Hallmark to do, starring Alison Sweeney and Ashley Williams. And the first one's called To Barcelona with Love. Both these are directed by Ron Oliver, who's a legend. He's done some really amazing Hallmark movies. And then the second one is called To Barcelona Forever. And this is on the 7th and the 14th. And it's Erica, and the first one is Erica, an American translator, secretly revises a novel set in Barcelona. Everything is fine until bookstore owner Nico invites the credited author Anna to the city for a book signing. So this is the Alison Sweeney. This is the Alison Sweeney led one. And I don't know how much Ashley will be in this one, if it'll just be sort of like a cameo, or just like a little brief scenes, or if she'll be like a major character. Both of them will be major characters in both, or I don't know.
They seem like a great duo together. It definitely seems like something out of their norm with these two movies, but what I gathered right away is just a lot of self-discovery. Yes, it's romantic, but growth, just like a lot of like growth with these characters. So that's what I'm interested in seeing. It definitely seemed a little bit out of their realm with these storylines, but we'll see. I haven't seen them yet, so can't.
Yeah, the other one, To Barcelona Forever, is as Anna travels back to Barcelona, reuniting with Erica to celebrate her engagement to Nico. She meets a charming farmer and accidentally finds herself engaged to save his family's legacy. I do think that one sounds like the more fun one. Fake engagement. It's like, it just sounds more
the happy ending part.
Happy ending part, and just kind of bonkers and a little more silly. And so it sounds like more the other one seems pretty basic, which could be good. But yeah, I'm going for the like fake fiance. Why does she have to do this to save his family's legacy? That sounds fun.
Yeah. Well, they have to build up. If it's a two-part thing, they got to build up to it,
Yeah, that's true.
So that's what I gathered with the first one, that it's going to just be some personal stuff like that they're going to put into the, I don't know, but we'll see.
The only thing is that, and maybe people think this is rude, but Alison Sweeney is almost 50. And she looks great. Absolutely. This plot just doesn't sound like the typical plot for a 50-year-old, for a 45 plus. She's 48. It sounds like a plot of somebody who is 22, 23, and I have no problem at all with a mature love story. At all. I'm 44. Of course I'd like that, but that's not usually what they do. And she does have her last her last few Hallmark movies have not been my favorite. Alison Sweeney. And so also she has a little bit of a track record, I think, of accepting roles that she's outaged.
Well, maybe she'll redeem herself with this one.
Maybe, and it absolutely could be. And I do think that the two of them will have nice chemistry, Allison and Ashley. So if the movies lean into that, then if it's more of a sort of more of a friendship story, then that sounds great. But Ashley is 46. So I just wish
Maybe it'll surprise you. Maybe it will match their age or their
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it absolutely could, and I hope so. That's just a little bit of a concern that I just sometimes feel like we're not it's like we had this like crop of talent in like 2017, 2016 that we got, which are amazing and I love them.
Right.
But we haven't been that good at cultivating new talent, younger talent.
Yeah.
And we're still just casting the same group of actresses in these same roles that were good for them
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
But are they still good for them now? And why? And I don't fault the actors or necessarily even the movies that much, but I it's like we need to update the writing to reflect these characters
and bring in fresh faces. It's like that in the writing world too. We got the OG writers that everybody loves, but try out some new voices. We're here.
Yeah. And instead of it being like it just doesn't make any sense to have characters who are nearly 50 being like, wow, this is my first job, or am I going to get my trust fund from my parents? Like stuff like that, that it's
Change your career can happen at 50.
Sure. But
not everybody does that.
But if it does happen, then that needs to be part of the plot of like, I'm in my 40s and changing my career, that's a different story than
maybe throw in some kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would make a little more sense.
Yeah, somebody fresh out of college. Like a really good example is this movie called Love of Course that they did that was I forget the actress's name, but had Cameron Matheson in it. And she is dropping off her daughter at college, kind of dealing with, I think she'd been divorced, if I'm not mistaken. And just experiencing some of these new experiences. And that felt like authentic to her character. And so I don't know, that's I don't want to belabor this point because it could still be a super good movie. And that's sort of my concern going in is like,
we'll see. Yeah.
Is this going to be written am I going to walk away from this movie feeling like, oh, they cast that perfect?
Yeah. Yes.
Well,
hold hope.
The other weird thing that's going on with Hallmark is that, so we're going to talk about it, but there's this Machu Picchu proposal that doesn't air until the 28th of June, right?
Yep.
They had a preview and sneak peek for that movie a month ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they have not released anything except for a poster for these two Barcelona movies. You would think that they would be promoting this huge.
Yeah.
You've got two of your biggest stars. You've got a combined event for two movies.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like, why on earth would you have a movie that doesn't air till the end of June? Would you have the sneak preview and
sneak peek? Maybe they think they don't have to with the bigger, I don't know.
It's so weird.
Like, no, that's silly. They should treat it the same with all the, yeah.
Hallmark is so weird.
Did they forget? No, I'm kidding.
Did they forget about their movie? Like, what?
Slip up. They weren't there that day. Oops. No, I know. They should treat each one the same. I agree. I didn't know that.
I would just think that you would just want to advertise your product. And someone's like, well, maybe it's not finished yet. I'm like, nope. It's airing in 2 weeks. They don't have enough finished to have a little preview, like 30 seconds. Like it's bizarre. But anyway, so that's very strange. But I still am pretty excited about this. We always pick a weird for these previews, something to give it a grade of our excitement level. And so if I was doing it on like beach balls, 4 beach balls, I would say I'm still going to give this a 3 out of 4 beach balls because It sounds fun. And I like Ron Oliver a lot as a director. And Barcelona, I've never been there.
And the preview
So
cute. I thought it was cute. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one too.
which one?
So the preview for the what's the title again? How do you the one we're talking about? The one that they did
The Machu Picchu.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah. So
It looks good.
you give these Barcelona ones a 3?
Um okay, well the Spain is great. So that definitely gave it a beach ball.
Yeah.
The actresses, I think they work well together from based on what I'm reading about it, but I don't know yet until I see it. So, but because they're so experienced, let's give them another beach ball with hope. So I would say 2 to 3 because
Yeah, I'm just saying.
yeah, they really, now that you point that out, why aren't they advertising for it more? I don't know. But we'll see. And I like series. I like anything that has like a sequel or series. So
Yeah.
so let's maybe 2.5 beach balls.
Yeah, I agree. That's actually where I'm at as well.
Yeah.
All right. So then we have Villa Amore, and this is on the 21st. Stars Eloise Mumford and Kevin McGarry, director Claire Niederprum, writers Alexander Koskas and Betsy Morris. And Liara goes to Italy and impulsively buys the villa where her parents met. She soon learns she is in way over her head and must ask a lawyer turned handyman to help her renovate.
Okay. Well, it's been done a lot with that.
Yeah. Yeah, it does sound very similar to the Netflix movie that we got this. Of course, every movie is set in Italy these days, but it sounds very similar. I can't remember the name. There was a villa movie on Netflix just this last season.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
This plot.
And is Kevin McGarry, because we don't have a preview for this one either, but is Kevin McGarry going to be Italian?
Well,
this?
That would be quite some talent there.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. American gone to live there, maybe. I don't know. Because that doesn't
He's
really
a lawyer turned handyman, which that's like the dream Hallmark man.
Right?
Lawyer turned handyman.
Yeah.
That's like a
lot of stories like that, they mysteriously turn into handymans. It looks cute. I mean, I don't know. I've just seen too many similar movies like that. Which okay, but it's fresh faces with this storyline, so we'll see.
His name is Leo.
Okay, so maybe
so I'm like, he's gonna have an Italian accent?
He might shock us. We might
possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Then we'll give him another beach ball later if he does.
Yeah, let's give him another. Because we don't have a preview as of now, at least for this one. Yeah. What's going on? Claire Niederprum, she does have a pretty good track record with Hallmark movies. She's done well with them. The Royal We was really good. Savory Paris was really good. And American in Austin was really good. And so her pen pal, I love. So she is crushing it in Hallmark. In the Hallmark. Yeah. So that is confidence boosting. Let's see what these writers have done. Let me look. Oh, okay. So these writers have been a lot of executive producing. Let's see here. They've written 4. They wrote. Oh, okay. So this is Alexander Koska's first full screenplay. He has story credit on a couple.
Okay. So this is a big deal
for Hallmark. Yeah. So that's fun. And he was the executive producer on a bunch. So that's interesting.
So this is his.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's see. Betsy Morris, I know I've heard her. So let's see here. Oh, yeah. So she's done tons of stuff. My Norwegian Holiday, The Wedding Bell, Kismet Christmas. So she's done some decent stuff. So there we go.
So there's hope for this one.
Yeah, I mean, this one will depend a lot on chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Eloise Munford, she has been pretty good for Hallmark movies. She Sweeter Than Chocolate was really good. The Presence of Love was really good. The Baker's Son was totally bonkers. So she's pretty reliable. Kevin McGarry is in general very good. He has the bluest eyes of any human being I've ever seen. And of course he's good on When Calls the Heart. So I'm gonna give this one a 3
because we know it's a tried and true story. We know it's
yeah,
it's gonna be cute.
I feel like with all these ingredients, with a good director, so let's hope. I'd give it a if
he does an Italian accent, he's getting another ball. Which I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see how that turns out. Let us know what you think about that idea, Villa Amore. Okay, so then a Machu Picchu proposal. We already talked about it a little bit, but this stars Rhiannon Fish and Alex Sanchez, who I love both of them, and they I think will have great chemistry. They feel like such smart casting.
I feel like we're more invested in this one because we got the preview. We could hear it. Yeah, those previews are everything.
Imagine that, having a trailer for your film. Like,
yeah. Like,
wow, revolutionary.
Watch them put it out the day before for the other one. Okay.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like, how low is our bar? How low is our bar for Hallmark when we're like, they had a poster for this one? That was incredible.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna do one, you have to do them all.
It's absurd. I mean, there's nowhere else on television or in film that don't have posters for your movies sometimes the week of release. There are times when I am doing an interview with an actor and actress for a movie, and I'm putting together the thumbnail, and there's no poster, and the movie comes out that week.
Yeah. Like, okay.
Anyway, so the plot for this is a little bit longer. It's Katie agrees to join her brother Dan and his girlfriend Luciana on a trip to Peru. Dan plans to propose to Luciana in a grand way in Machu Picchu at the end of the week and needs Katie's Spanish-speaking skills to ask Luciana's Peruvian father for his blessing. However, when Luciana's friend Chef Carlos arrives, he accidentally ruins each proposal attempt. Refusing to give up, Katie does everything in her power to make this proposal happen until Dan calls it off. Katie must lean into Chef Carlos's spontaneity to not only save the day and the proposal, and Carlos may just win Katie's heart too.
Sounds like it sounds funny. Like, it sounds
I agree. Yeah. This sounds pretty like fresh and fun. Like, I've never heard this plot before.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, it's going to be like a rom-com. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes you what? Why would Dan call it off?
Yeah. No wonder there's a preview.
Yeah. No wonder there's a preview. But it could be really fun because then you have two couples that you can sort of be enjoying and following and everything like that.
And maybe a second movie. You could, if you have this.
Yeah.
You can spin it to, just an idea of Hallmark, next year.
And the writer, this Julianne Wimbles, she did a Costa Rican wedding last year, which I really enjoyed and thought was very funny. And it leaned into the comedy.
Okay.
And Rhiannon was also in that. And she can do the comedy.
Yeah.
Really lean into the com and the rom-com.
Yep. That's
so
right.
and I've never been to Peru. I've never been to I feel like Machu Picchu is fresh. It's a new place.
Even the title is fresh. I'm excited for that one.
This is gonna be.
We're gonna give it 4 balls.
They're clearly confident with it. That they actually
they're showing the preview
a month ago.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give this full 4.
Yeah, we're gonna go, and then if we love it, we'll give them all 5.
Yeah. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/Hallmarkies and get on your way to being your best self. Mental health awareness is growing, but there's still progress to be made. 26% of Americans who participated in a recent survey say they have avoided seeking mental health support due to fear of judgment. I know in my late 20s, I was going through a pretty tough time, and I was very grateful to be able to talk to a therapist and to get the help that I needed. BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist from their diverse network of more than 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialties. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. You can easily switch therapists at any time at no extra cost. We're all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/Hallmarkies to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Hallmarkies. Mysteries. The first one is Mystery Island Play for Keeps. This is our third Mystery Island movie. This is on the 5th. It stars Elizabeth Henstridge, Charlie Weber, Stephen R. Monroe, director. Mystery Island hosts a corporate retreat with a guest being Amelia's ex-fiance. Old feelings become complicated, tensions run high, and allegations arise when a guest is found dead. Like, I don't think anybody should go to this island.
No.
Like, are you kidding me? God, multiple deaths.
I know. It's like, check, please.
Stay away.
Yeah. I love mysteries. I do. I really, really, actually, the book I just handed in is sort of a mystery. But yeah, with a hot detective. That's a whole nother story.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I actually haven't seen any other Mystery Island.
Yeah.
So I don't really feel like I have a say on what I think, but what do you think?
Pretty good. The last one I think was better than the previous one. I'm not a big fan of the mysteries where like every step along the way requires this long exposition dump. That seems to be the case with most Agatha Christie. So obviously it has lots of fans, but I prefer ones where I have to kind of figure it out a little bit more, that, you know, and maybe there's don't be afraid to leave your mystery a little bit ambiguous, like leave it a little bit more of a mystery. Like we don't need and
every
so
detail.
And so I really dislike The Glass Onion. I don't know if you saw that.
No, but I know what you mean. Like, if you way too much too fast, then we lose interest.
And like obviously those stories have huge fans, so like I get it, but that's just my personal taste. And so they're not like my favorite, but I could see that it was well done and pretty fun, and I get it. But yeah, this sounds.
There's been a lot of movies lately where I don't know if you've noticed, there's been a lot of movies lately where you're on an island and somebody dies, and not necessarily with this plot, but I've been seeing that in the last couple of years of like chefs, like going to, there was one came out where they were all eating, and I was like, what is this? My teenager.
The Menu. That's one of my favorite recent movies. It's
so everybody. Why is everybody going to these places?
Avoid islands. That's the lesson that we learn from
the movie. My book that came out. That's an island too.
I would give this one a 3, though. I think it sounds solid. Sounds good. I think it'll be good. Then we have A Pie to Die For, Hannah Swenson mystery. They're just leaning into Alison Sweeney, which she's great. So that's great. And it's this on the 22nd, and it's when Hannah's customer Dolores' theater rival is murdered, Hannah must find her killer in order to save her mother's reputation. Chad and Hannah's romance blossoms. So I like the first sentence much better than the second sentence.
They kind of contradict each other. It's like, and then there's a romance.
And I just I have not been a big fan of Chad. I don't even understand why they made him a character. Like, we already have her have a relationship with Norman. Just have her be with Norman. Like, because Mike leaves, fine. Cameron's leaving the show, no problem.
Mhm.
But I just don't understand the need to bring in a new love interest when you literally have a second option already on the show.
They're making it too complicated.
I don't
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, they're
And
adding too much. Adding too much.
and they made him a prosecutor, which is such a weird choice because prosecutors don't investigate. Prosecutors prosecute. That's like Law and Order says. You've got the investigators who look into crime, and you've got the prosecutors who prosecute crime.
Right.
And so, yes, some prosecutors for like a grand jury will do interviews and things like that. I realize that, but they're not actively investigating. Like that's already been done when they bring the evidence to the prosecutors to prosecute.
Right.
So it was such a weird choice because it makes his involvement like very weird.
Yeah. Or at least make him a defense lawyer, because then he'll look into things a little bit more than a prosecutor.
Maybe. I just don't I mean, if you want to introduce a new love interest, just make him an investigator. Like that's fine. Yeah. You know, he comes in to replace Mike, and fine. It may work. I guess I'm just Team Norman. Why would you? It just doesn't make any sense to me. You had a love triangle.
Get out of here. Get him out.
You literally had a love triangle. You have the only reason is he's not because he's a dentist. Hannah can't be with a dentist. I don't understand.
Oh man.
But the first part of
this, not Team Chad.
No, the first part of this sounds super fun. Like, because I love Dolores. Barbara Niven is hilarious in this role. So the fact that it's going to be based on like it's Dolores centric, I'm a fan of that. That's going to be hilarious.
It might work. Let's see. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I would avoid Hannah and Dolores in general if I lived in this place, because people are dying all over the place. Like I would not want to be her rival. That's for sure.
Yep.
No, you're not going to last long.
I don't know. We'll give 2 to 3 balls on this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chad.
Chad. I'm giving it 2. But the murder part of it does sound fun to me.
That's what got all the beach balls.
Yeah.
Just that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So then we have feature films we're diving into, rom-com romances. So we have a movie called The Materialists, and this comes out on the 13th. And it stars Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, Pedro Pascal, director Celine Song, who did a movie that was nominated for Best Picture 2 years ago called Past Lives, which was excellent.
Yeah.
And a young, ambitious New York City matchmaker finds herself torn between the perfect match and her imperfect ex. And I am trying my hardest not to have unrealistic expectations for this movie, because I absolutely loved the trailer, and hearing Celine Song talk about how much she loves rom-coms and how she wants there to be a rebirth of the rom-com. I'm like, yes, Celine. So I am super hyped for it.
It's so hard to watch Dakota Johnson now without waiting on the smut, but you know that. Okay, but I love her, so you know.
Yes.
So, that drew me in. But,
it is rated R, so it's definitely not a Hallmark movie, but I really hope it's gonna be good. Please.
I know, and she seems to play that character really well from the preview.
Yes.
And
even in 50 Shades, it's not her fault. Like she is bringing it, you know?
Yeah.
So
I
mean, Madam
we'll
Web,
never look at her the same, no matter what film she does, but I like her. So
I mean, Madam Web, that would be the one actually, even more than, because I think she came and she delivered for the Madam Web. She was pretty bad in that, but
can't win them all.
Yes, you can't win them all. But this, I am super hopeful, and it could just like it's getting such a big rollout. It has these stars, and I just the very few romantic comedies that we get in the theaters and the big screen have been underwhelming. Like some of them I've liked okay, but nothing that I've loved.
Yeah,
and something like The Fall Guy, being so disappointed by that movie, and.
True.
So fingers crossed. I'm totally a 4, of course. But
Right.
yeah, we'll see.
We'll take a ball away for that if it's going to be underwhelming, but I agree. I think it'll be a 4 at least.
Yes. Okay. So then we have two smaller releases to talk about. We have a movie called Lost in the Starlight. This is an anime film. This comes out on the 30th of May, and it's going to be on Netflix. When an astronaut leaves Earth for Mars, the vast infinite space divides star-crossed lovers that crosses the cosmos. And this is directed by Han Ji-won. And I thought the trailer looked really beautiful. I liked it. What'd you think?
I thought it was cool. My 10-year-old is into anime,
Mm.
so she'll probably want to see what that is. But I'm not like a major anime type fan, but I thought it was well done. I thought the preview was well done. Yeah.
It's a good trailer. It really made it look appealing and beautiful, and it seemed like the voice cast was pretty good. And so I definitely, I mean, I love animation. So I was very intrigued. So I'd give it a 3.
Yeah, I think it's going to be for those type of fans. I'm sure they'll love it.
Yeah. All right, last one. This one's a very
strange
movie, but it's called
a little freaked out.
It's called Sunlight, and this comes out on the 6th. It is directed by Nina Conte. It stars Nina Conte and Shanoa Allen. In New Mexico, Roy, a dysfunctional radio host, is pulled from the noose by monkey-clad Jane, who is escaping a controlling relationship with her dead mom's toy boy husband. That's a lot for one sentence. Together, they dig up the grave of Roy's black belt dad to retrieve the watch they hope will fund a new life built on a shaky dream. This is Beauty and the Beast in reverse.
I mean, I was watching it like, what is that? It was very different, which intrigued me. So now I'm curious.
Yeah.
What is going to be?
So he has his co-partner in this insanity is a monkey. It's like a stuffed monkey that's talking to him. So I'm like, this is crazy. But they say it's a love story. Like, what?
With a little mental health issue. No, I don't. And then he finds the wolf. Like that was it for me. I was like, now I have to see what this is all about.
I'm intrigued for sure.
Like, what?
We'll see. This could be a total train wreck, or it could be super fun.
Right.
This is just the year for weird monkey movies, because you got this, and then you had this movie called Better Man, that came out at the beginning of the year, which was a Robbie Williams biopic with him as a monkey. And so they're getting their moment.
Where the train of thought is going with all this, but I'll roll with it because why not?
Monkeys are having their moment, so that's good.
At least they got a preview.
I don't know. This if we'll see, because this Nina Conte, like, this is obviously her baby.
Yeah.
Isn't
she a trend what is it when they do the puppets?
Oh, is she? I didn't even know that.
Somebody mentioned that ventriloquist. I can't even say
ventriloquist.
I read that somewhere, but I could be totally wrong. So she's like,
let me see if it says this. Let me see.
Somebody might mentioned it, and they could be wrong, but
no, I'm sure
maybe
you're right.
Somebody directing it. I don't know, but I was thinking, well, this is a live walking one, so okay.
So it sounds like this made it through some of the festivals last year, and I'm seeing pretty good responses, which is interesting.
Okay,
so let's see here. Nina Conte, British actress, comedian, and ventriloquist.
Yeah,
performing with monkeys. So evidently this is her thing.
Yeah, so maybe it's going to be good. Well, yeah, and not
with monkey.
Watch with one eye open, like, what?
I'm seeing, so I'm looking, a hilariously dark and unconventional love story following two people on the edge of life who find purpose in romance through an unlikely connection.
Unlikely is a nice way. It's a very subtle way to put that. Yeah.
Let's see. It has 3 reviews here on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh boy.
Sunlight is a hilariously dark comedy that uses humor and self-awareness to navigate issues of identity, mental health, and family dysfunction.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, hey.
I'll give it two with maybe more.
Yeah.
I'm open
Yeah.
if it captures me. We'll see.
Yes. So I give it two as well. And so let us know what you think of all of these different movies. What are you the most excited for? And yeah, how many beach balls would you give in your anticipation? Of course, we have no idea because we haven't seen them. So it's just for fun.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, Hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
All right. Well, let's dive into your book, new book, where it all began. So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about the book, what to expect?
It takes place on Martha's Vineyard. This is a good island where no one's going to die.
Okay, that's good.
Sorry about that. And I live vicariously through these characters because I could never afford to live on Martha's Vineyard. But it's three best friends who grew up on this island together. A girl named Willow, and then two boys, Tyler Parker and Grayson Turner. And all is well until Grayson and Willow, they fall in love. And it sort of just rocks their little trio a little bit. And something happens on prom night, not just a heartbreak between Willow and Grayson, but a tragedy that happens with Willow's family on her farm. All of this happens in one night. And a little backstory about Grayson. He's got some issues too from a really rough upbringing with a father who is an alcoholic. So something happens to him that night as well. So all this happens on one night and then it's over. And Grayson is back on Willow. Willow runs and goes to college and basically avoids coming home, not just because of the heartbreak, but because of a lot of inner turmoil and what happened with her family. And Tyler swoops in, all trying to pick up the pieces for her. And a lot of readers are like, oh, I hate him. I've already gotten so many I hate Tylers. Get Tyler out of here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, poor Tyler. And so it's a story about, because when she comes home, because her father has a accident on their horse farm. So now she has to come home and she has to face all that plus Grayson. And the two men have a secret that they've kept from her all this time. And it could totally rewrite what happened that night had the secret come out right then and there. So it's a second chance romance, love triangle gone wild a little bit. And on the breathtaking, coastline of Martha's Vineyard. I tried to give it justice, but I didn't want to put too much into the setting.
I didn't hate Tyler, and we won't spoil it, but I didn't hate him because he was in the end honest.
Right. Yeah.
That
was a scene that was added much later. It was an add-on scene because I was toying with a few different ideas until the editor said, let's go with this one. But because once you get to know these three characters and who they are and what secret they're carrying, we gotta like Tyler. We can't have it end that way.
Yeah.
Because Tyler, he's not one of those ex-fiancés that vanishes in the dust. So
and he does take that step of
responsibility
becoming, and like he is an ex-fiance, like he doesn't go through with the wedding, so like he is honest. And that's just the very start of the movie. It's not a big book.
Write a whole book of Tyler like later on.
You absolutely could.
He admits it. I had him own up to it. So, because
Yeah, and so he is honest, even if maybe he should have been honest sooner, he does, he could have gone through with it.
right,
And that, so I don't know. I didn't hate the character, but that
right, I hate him in the beginning.
it reminded, if the audience is wondering what I was thinking about with this book, it reminded me a lot of The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Oh yeah, the much younger version, yeah, because
Yeah, so that's younger, the teenagers, but since some of it was set on prom night and stuff, like
yep.
I think that if it had a similar dynamic, I think.
Yes, yes. And the whole theme, so all my books kind of have a theme, and this one is definitely childhood trauma, struggle, and what we can bring into
Yeah.
adulthood and not realize. We all have them. We all have childhood. I guess my daughter calls them childhood demons. I'm like, what are you saying? What are you saying? Um,
Uh-huh.
it's just a joke because she read the book and she's like,
Yeah.
Tyler's a brat. I'm like, well, you got to get to the end because I know they're in their late 20s at this point, but nobody's perfect. We all carry
Sure.
things. We all
Yeah.
moments of shame and things we've gone through. And so that's the whole theme with these three characters is what are they struggling with from the past that they're bringing into adulthood. So even Tyler has
Yeah.
not
It's
perfect.
okay to have flawed characters.
Right, right. But I know exactly. I'm like, let's be real. Like we all have a story. But and I didn't want, and there was more. Tyler was in the story and the plot line more, and we had to like X him out because I know he wants to be the main show, but he's not. So we had to cut him out a little bit and really just focus on Grayson and Willow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I made him pull back. Um, because when you think about like something like say you're in that situation, some men might do this. Can't say not all men, but I wanted Grayson's sort of respectful. He's not just gonna just just charge at her and be like, "It's me. I'm back. You loved me all along. Let's be." No,
Yeah.
not. He's
Right.
very respectful of what Willow had just gone through with Tyler, and I feel like that was a little bit more real than just
Yeah. Well,
again.
and plus, like he thinks that she was in love with
Right,
Tyler, and I mean, why wouldn't you if you were engaged? And like,
right.
so it takes a while for him to kind of process everything too, as well as
Yeah,
her.
he thought she
Yeah.
was happy, and that's what he wanted for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
He truly loves her. So he's like,
Yeah.
okay, she moved on. I mean, what can you do in that situation? And
Yeah.
he realizes, okay, that didn't happen. So yeah.
So how did you get the whole idea for this? How did you
Um,
get the idea that you wanted to do a love triangle story?
well, it started with I brought my middle daughter to she does horse therapy lessons. And so I was bringing her to her lesson and when she was relatively when it was newer for her. And horses have really helped her. She's special needs, so she's got, things that we struggle with her daily, and horses have been really great for her. So that's where the idea started. But I had no idea how to build around it. I just thought, what a nice thing to put into this storyline, which the readers will find out much later in the book how it gets implemented in, because there's a very special horse in this story. And I just started to create it from there. And at first, it was just a second chance love with just Grace and Willow. But then I threw in Tyler, and I just built from there. So it really
Uh-huh.
did start on a horse.
Ah, nice. You should watch Heartland. You'd love
I have,
Heartland.
not all of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, well, was that hard writing a love triangle
Yes.
and balancing the three characters?
Yeah, because you only have so much room to write so much. Otherwise, it just becomes a series. So you have to be,
Yeah.
it's sort of like the delicate balance between enemies to lover. You have to start making that switch because the end of the book's going to come before you know it, and you haven't made that switch. So with a love triangle, especially a love triangle where one of them is going to always be in their life. So that's hard. So I had to
Yeah.
really, find that. But like I said, I had Tyler more in it, had to cut him out a little bit. I thought it was pretty tricky. Also because it's a lot that was happening. Remember, these stories are only like the beginning of relationships. So it's like within like a season. So it's like a summer season or a winter season. So we're talking like 6 weeks. So I had to put all these things in within a summer where and then they all have to learn their lessons. I'm like, all right, tighten this up. So I thought it was pretty tricky, but um, I like how it turned out with them because it turns out you're kind of smiling for everybody in a way.
Yeah. Was it hard coming up with the big moment that separated them? The big, we won't spoil it, but like, was it
Which
hard coming up with that thing that would be the thing that would
you mean the Grayson and Willow?
yeah, yeah. Well, Grayson and Willow and Tyler, like that like basically prom night. Was it hard coming
Yeah.
up with that it would be like important enough and big enough that it would,
Yeah. Well,
sustain the rest of the plot?
right. So at first it was just Grayson and his issue that pulled him away because he was
Uh-huh.
an 18-year-old kid and he's angry. So what 18-year-old is going to be mature thinking in this whole thing? So he's an angry 18-year-old kid who his father just comes stumbling in, throws some stuff at him, and he's just like, what? And so at first it was just that. But then I threw in what happens at the barn at Willow's house. And so actually, just a little personal share. So she leaves. She leaves anyway because she was going to go to college. And in her mind, it's sort of like Tyler's out of sight, out of mind. Let's not talk about it. Well, Willow did the same thing. So she leaves and she holds so much self-blame. I did the same thing when I graduated high school because I'd gone through something really hard and I was like, I'm leaving, I'm Connecticut and I'm out of sight, out of mind. Well, it doesn't work that way. You can't just
Yeah.
leave and then your issues are just going to leave with it. And so for Willow, as I mentioned in the book, days become weeks, become months, and then you just fester more and more like self-blame and now it's been so long, I don't want to go back. It just became too much, too long. And so like a piece of me was in Willow with that. And so now I wasn't so dramatic like Willow. I did go home through college. But people have asked, like some of my ARC readers, well, how do you not go home? I'm like, well, I know a lot of people that have not been home in a very long time for various reasons. Same
Yeah.
thing with holding a secret. My daughter, she cracks me up. So she read it and then she read, well, how can they hold the secret? And my daughter goes, have they not seen Lifetime? Sometimes people have whole other families. And no one knows about it. I was like, I know,
Yeah.
and people hold secrets
It's
because they
true.
simply choose not to share. That's how.
Yeah.
So she really cracks me up. Tyler's a brat and people have whole other families. So of course they can hold secrets. But I wanted
That's not the secret for the
yeah,
record.
no. But like I wanted her to read it because she's 18. She's an 18-year-old kid. And so
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, that's 18-year-olds don't ever make the right choice. I'm like, nope. So because if Grayson was a little more mature and a little bit more
Yeah.
on all this, he might have confronted.
Well, and you had to come up with something that would
Yeah.
affect all three characters kind of
Right.
equally,
That's
and
right.
that they would all have baggage about, which I think was tricky because it'd be easy to do something that would only involve one of them,
Right.
and make one of them stay away, but you needed something that would involve all three characters and get kind of messy like that.
Right.
And so
And then
I think
Tyler
that
swooping
was
in and being like, I'm here to save you. I've got you. I'm here for you. Like Mr.
right. Yeah.
Okay, Tyler.
Right. But it affects him in the end as well. It's obviously it's a little challenge because I don't want to spoil for the readers those kinds of key plot
Yeah.
things, but yeah, I thought that was impressive. I mean, have you been to Martha's Vineyard before?
Yes.
Okay.
I spent my summers on the Cape and
Oh.
we would do day trips to Martha's Vineyard. So we would take the ferry over. So all those scenes of her going literally is by memory
Uh-huh.
and driving we would drive our car into the ferry and go for the day and come back. But Martha's Vineyard's so small, you can park your car and literally you could walk most of it or take a bus or it's just a great little place. And we would do the same with Nantucket, but Nantucket is so much smaller. And Ellen Hildebrand has Nantucket series down pack for her books, but Martha's Vineyard is much bigger, a lot more families. And so, yeah, just some day trips here and there. But I definitely lived through these characters because
Yeah.
I'll live there.
Yeah. Were you thinking of any actresses or any actresses or actors when you were writing of who would be Willow, Tyler, and Grayson?
Yeah, I for Willow, just because when the couple movies that I've seen her in with Jen, oh gosh,
Lily.
Lily. Yeah. When she gets mad, she's
Yeah.
she's
can see
kind of
that.
like cutesy, and that's how I see Willow. Although a younger Willow. As
Yeah.
Willow matures and she starts to face herself, she starts to like feel some real things. And she's like, okay, time to,
Yeah.
my daughter would say, lock in and really just face myself.
Yeah.
But I think she's cute. I think she,
Yeah.
I kind of thought about her. She has good dynamic. She with, what's that movie she was in? And it was in, I think it was during the pandemic. She was with was it Brendan?
Oh, Penny.
Oh yeah. They had a really good dynamic. Oh gosh. The movie is can't even remember.
Was Jen Lilly in a movie with
Brendan Penley. Yeah.
Jen? Let's
Uh,
see here.
oh gosh, I'm sorry. I thought about 5 different guys for Grayson. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, because
Great.
he was in Dash of Love
Yes.
with Brendan Penny. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. They had a good dynamic in that movie, I thought. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
But literally, Grayson, I thought about 5 different guys because I love them so much.
Yeah.
I felt bad putting Tyler with somebody. I'm like, who's going to be the villain? No, I'm kidding. He's not a villain.
Yeah. I I was thinking like a Hunter King I could see
with Grayson
playing. No, for Willow.
Okay.
Or even a Rhiannon. Rhiannon Fish usually plays very sweet characters. And so it'd be interesting to see her take on a character like Willow that's a little bit more weighty and a little more
Grayson has to be reserved kind of guy, but he's so
you know who they could really lean into Heartland, have Amber Marshall
it's got
play
that
Willow.
Yep.
Amber Marshall played Willow, and you could have Harry James play Grayson, who was Caleb on Heartland.
We doing Tyler.
Tyler.
Tyler Don.
You could have, I mean, if we're going that kind of age, you could have like Jesse Hutch.
Yeah.
Would be good.
We don't want to hate Tyler. We don't want to hate Tyler. He's not.
No. And he would bring like enough humanity to the role. I mean, all 3 of them are probably too old for this role now.
Yeah.
But
definitely
they would work. They would work well. You could have, if you were going the Heartland route, Alicia Newton. She would be perfect for she's, I think, how old is she? Let me see. So she's 23. She'd be perfect.
Yeah. I mean, they're like mid to late 20s at this point. So yeah, definitely don't want anybody much older because that wouldn't make sense. Then it'd be like 50.
This, because she was Georgie on Heartland. This is perfect casting. So we have so we're casting it. We have Alicia Newton playing Willow, and we could have who plays Logan. What's his name?
We need 2 sets of them too. We need young cast, older cast.
True. So Logan is what is his name? That actor.
Gotta look it up.
Drew Davis. So we can have Drew Davis playing who is Logan on Heartland. He can be Grayson. You can have Alicia Newton.
Yep.
Georgie on Heartland. She can be Willow. And and then they can find Tyler. It'll work. Tyler.
You know, write a book now for Tyler. I gotta redeem him.
Yes. I got it. Let's see here. Jordan. So here we go. I got the casting. So you have Alicia Newton as Willow.
Okay.
You have you have Drew Davis as Grayson. And then from The Way Home, you have Jordan Dow, who plays young Colton on The Way Home. He can be your Tyler.
Okay. That'll work. And we got to throw in a beach because these we're on the beach.
That's okay.
Martha's Vineyard is actually like that. A lot of farm.
Vancouver Island
Yes.
That can be your Martha's Vineyard subbing, no problem. And you got it. It's done. We've
We're
done
done.
all
All
the
right,
hard
wrap
work
it up.
for you, Hallmark.
We're in. You know.
Make me an executive producer. It'll be
Yeah.
great.
You know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So what would be your pitch to the Hallmarkies listeners?
Gosh.
Check out this book. They'll like it.
Yeah. Oh, well, really? I'm so bad at this stuff. I can write full-on novels, but when you ask me for an elevator speech, I'm like, blank. I will say though, I definitely think a book like this can have spin-offs into a series. I do.
Yeah.
Because you've got Tyler, of course, and then
Yeah.
it's backstory with the parents. That's the other thing. I don't want to give it away, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of characters that we need to
Yeah.
develop a little bit more. So
If
that could be
you
good.
like your love stories with like quite a bit of drama, if you like then you'll like this. This is fun.
Yes, with happiness at the
Yeah,
end.
yeah. I mean, it's got that happy ending, but like, so it's not like a Nicholas Sparks book or something where
You
it's
get
sad.
so
But like,
down at the end.
yeah. But if you like a little bit of drama, a little bit, excitement going on in your love stories, then this will be great, and you'll really enjoy it. So I think that people should check it out for their summer reads. And we'll have like a link down below. When does the book come out?
Tuesday, so May 27th.
Yeah. Very good. And let us know if you read it, what you think, and also about the preview of what you think. And thank you so much, Lindsay, for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yeah. And if people want to follow you on like socials, all this stuff, how do they do that?
I'm author Lindsay Gibson, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and L Gibson author on X. I want to say Twitter every time.
I know. I just say Twitter. I don't even care.
I know. Always Twitter, forever Twitter. And then lindsay.gibson.com. It's my website.
Yeah. Very. We'd like to thank Lindsay for coming on the podcast. This was so much fun to get to talk with her. Let me know what you think about all the things that we talked about in the comments or on Twitter. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. Also, make sure that you're following the podcast, Hallmarkies Podcast, all over social media. And on Goodreads, you can follow me there as well. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. Appreciate that so much. If you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate that so much. We also have our Patreon group, which is the biggest way you can support everything that we're doing. And you get to be part of watch-alongs and Q&As and other activities. And you can be part of the Facebook group. It's really fun, and we sure appreciate it. And then we have our merch store where we have all kinds of fun Hallmark-inspired, romance-inspired, movie-inspired designs. So check that out. And thanks again to Lindsay. We'll have a link to purchase the book, an affiliate link in the description. So check that out. And we'll talk to y'all later.